Hello Capricorn, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. If Capricorn is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. And if there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Capricorn, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And there is a Knight of Swords. Now, we sometimes get some pesky air energy in our Capricorn readings, but I feel like this is not going to have the traumatic effects that it once did or once would have. All right, I think we see a lot of. I think you're going to love this. I think this is going to be okay. There's the Cancer energy that is usually in your readings as well, and a little bit more air energy. But before we get into this, let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. We're selecting from the Waite-Smith Tarot, and we're just going to get one card, set it down over here. We can put our sleepy horse right there on top of that card so it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't gallop away. And hopefully at the end of the reading, that card will tie everything together, give us the confirmation that we need. Okay, let's look at this. So we've got the air, air, and air. We've got fire, fire. We've got water, water, water. A little bit of earth. Oh, we got the other air too. We don't want to forget about that one. We kind of do want to forget about this one, but I don't think it's going to let us forget about it. Well, let's start, I guess, from the beginning with this Knight of Swords. This is, I think, this might be a particular person. It might be, I think it's going to be coming from someone, obviously. But it's going to be someone challenging your opinion. This is somebody who, I feel like they're coming in and they're just trying to tell you, hey, you're wrong. Someone coming in like with this attitude that they know better, that they need to challenge what you're doing, how you're doing it, or what you said, or what your opinions or what your beliefs are. I don't know that they're even someone that you know. I don't think this is the same kind of air energy that we've seen. It could be somebody completely random. But I feel like this is a big opportunity for you, because there's several ways that we could respond to this, somebody coming in and it's almost a confrontation. I almost feel like they're just kind of flying in and they're saying, no, you're wrong. I heard what you said and that's not the right information. One of those kind of people. I feel like in the past, we used to go full emperor. We used to have this kind of, maybe we would deal with them a little bit harshly in the past, because I think that we started kind of learning our power. We still have this need within ourselves to balance our power, to understand how much force to apply to certain situations, when to yield, when to assert ourselves, right? When to hit back and when to just say, okay, okay. I think the Emperor is us learning to do that, I think in the past, this Emperor would have been harsh, right? Swift and merciless, right? And yeah, I'm being dramatic. But I think what we're trying to do now is balance this Emperor out a little bit. Still calm, still assertive, still strong and powerful, not going to get pushed around. But he uses different tactics now. doesn't just come right out swinging. Doesn't just get mad and fly off the handle and destroy the other person. I think this is a little bit of a test. I think this is meant for you right now to see how our Emperor energy is going to handle yet another pesky little air energy buzzing around, flying in and disturbing our flow. Okay. Because what our other option is this Three of Cups. It's almost as if your enemy comes to your door, and to everyone's shock and surprise, you say, hey, come on in, have a meal. Come sit down, have a drink, have a meal. Do you need anything? Can I do anything for you? Can I get you something? Are you comfortable? You need a blanket? You want me to turn up the heat? Are you okay? It's that real gracious kind of response. Nobody's going to expect that. Certainly not the enemy, right? The little fly buzzing around. And I'm not saying I'm not one of these like love your enemies kind of people, but maybe sometimes we do. Maybe that's a way for you to balance this energy within yourself. It's not about this fly. It's not about the air person. I don't care. That's why I say this may be someone you know, maybe not. It's a specific person, obviously, that's doing this, but it doesn't matter who they are. They could be anonymous. In the context of this reading, they're anonymous. I don't care who they are. I don't care what they're doing, if they're just being kind of a bully, if they're being rude to you, if they are just challenging some belief, or they're challenging your authority. Maybe it's a coworker, maybe it's one of your employees, somebody that just doesn't agree with the decisions of your emperor. It doesn't matter. What matters is that they're triggering something in you. They're reminding us of all of the past air sign people, all of the past air energy from, just in these readings for months now. Every reading we see, at least on the periphery, a little air energy threatening to come in and land in our soup. We've managed to keep that kind of energy away and work on ourselves, work on our success, work on our confidence, our creativity, all this stuff. To go watch your past readings. Now I think that you're really on the verge of some major success, right? It's almost as if your initiation is almost complete. There's one last test. Now Spirit is sending this little fly in to bug you. See how you react. Do you just swat the fly? Or, like my daughter does, she names it. Right now, every fly that my daughter sees, their name is Cupcake. Because one time we had a fly got in the house, and she named it Cupcake. Now every fly we see, doesn't matter where we are, it's Cupcake. Anyway, are you going to name are you going to name it? Are you going to swat it? Are you going to just kind of shoo it outside? Or are you going to invite it in, give it something to eat? I know this is kind of a gross metaphor. But the point is that this person coming in, this energy coming at you, is triggering all of these thoughts, feelings, these emotions, these situations from the past. All of these other times when this one person comes in and does this, suddenly you're going to experience all of that air energy from every reading that we've had. It's all going to come in one rush. Right? Everything that you've learned, everything that you've experienced is going to come back to you. So it really is like triggering this in you. Right? And that's why this Three of Swords is down here at the bottom. It's underneath everything. It's all of your air experiences kind of swelling up. And now this little fly buzzing around is kind of is going to set it off. Right? And that's what Spirit wants. That's why this is meant for you. That's why this is really the perfect kind of test for you right now. Because this is all the powder keg, and this is just the little fuse. The fuse is going to be lit, and let's see what happens, right? Are you going to go full emperor and just be ruthless and merciless, or are you going to be the other side of the emperor, which is compassionate, gracious, inviting, welcoming, warming, And are we going to go 3 of Cups style? This is the test, right? To see how well you can balance your force and fire, how well you can balance that emperor energy. Now that emperor is the emperor. It's the captain of the ship. It's the big boss of you, right? It's your self, your higher self, your true self, who you really are, right? Behind all of the curtains, all of the veils, all of the clouds, all of the experiences, behind everything, it's who you are. And you've been cultivating that. Your assertiveness, your confidence, your creativity, your power, your authority, your sense of responsibility for your life, your path, and for your experiences. You're taking ownership of all of that. Now, the test of that is whether you're just going to fly off the handle when that powder keg is lit. When we are triggered in this degree, is it going to result in this explosion, or are we going to be able to kind of temper our reaction, or to do something different, do something unexpected? It's kind of the last thing people would expect, for you to just invite the person in and have a cup of tea. I'm not saying you have to do that. I'm not saying that's even, the possibility in these circumstances. I don't know the exact details of your life. I'm just a tarot reader. But I think that this water energy is the perfect counterpart to this fire here. And I think this water energy is saying that, look, even though we've had these experiences, especially all of this, I like to kind of shake the cards like we're in an iPhone. All of these experiences here are still within us. They're always going to be part of you. They're always going to be memories. I mean, unless you get a lobotomy or something, you're always going to have these energies in you. And there are always going to be other flies that come in to try to light that fuse. So we have to learn how to deal with that, how to be calm, how to be loving and compassionate. You can be compassionate and still be an emperor. You can still be fierce and powerful. Compassion is kind of the vice of an emperor, right? It's kind of the vice. We are usually very disciplined, very strict, and very ruthless and merciless with our enemies. But sometimes I just want to get along. I just want everyone to be nice. Something you like to indulge in sometimes. Let's treat it that way, right? Let's not look at it like you're doing something against your nature. Let's look at this this compassion, and I don't know if it's compassion. I don't know if that's the right word. A little bit more gentleness, maybe. A little bit more softness or yielding kind of energy, rather than just that force and fire of the emperor. It doesn't go against your nature. It's an expansion of your nature. It's showing that your soul, your spirit, your nature, your true self is infinite. It includes everything. And it shows that you understand yourself when you can be compassionate even to somebody who is kind of in your face, or someone who is, not acting very kindly toward you. Now, again, I'm not saying you have to love your enemies. I'm not saying that you have to let people beat you up. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you need to have control over your reactions and responses to those kinds of situations. Now, this could just be a family member who is on your case about your life and your choices and wants to tell you everything that you're doing wrong, right? We all have someone like that. Your initial impulse, your emperor might say, well, I'm just going to, I'm going to fight against this person with everything I've got. You can't do that to me. But the Emperor is getting wiser and wiser and wiser and says, maybe that family member just isn't going to bother me anymore. Maybe I'm just going to say, okay, you don't agree with what I'm doing with my life. You want to have a cup of tea with me? We can talk about it, or we can just watch the ball game, talk about something else. I don't think every little thing bothers you anymore. I don't think, this might be gross, I don't think the fly in your soup is really going to bother you so much anymore. You know? I don't know that you're going to send the soup back if there's a little fly in it. I think that may be crossing the line with the metaphors here today. But you understand my point, I think. Because what we really are looking for, rather than the active needing to respond, right? Feeling compelled because of our past and all of those feelings that kind of well up in us again when we're set off by these kinds of interactions, rather than the compulsive need to act in some way. Now, there's also the chance that this Three of Cups is when you're so dang mad that you start being overly nice. You know people like that. They're so mad, and you can tell that they're just about to blow because they're so over the top nice. We don't want that either. That's compulsion. That's not showing an even level control, right? These are both threes. These are both functions. These are active cards. This is the need to act. But they're also threes. Threes are the number of understanding. Yeah. So we understand that we might be compelled to act in a certain way, but we're trying to have this too, this even state. We're trying to not have any kind of a blip, right? The line just stays completely level. Doesn't matter what's in our face. Our heart rate never changes. We're steady as she goes. And we also see that in the future card with the Four of Swords. It's truce. It's being at peace. It's saying, yeah, that person's annoying, or yeah, there's a fly in my soup. I'm not going to get upset about it. I'm going to do what needs to be done because, yeah, I'm an emperor. But I'm not going to feel this compulsive need to react in a certain way, right? And I think that inviting him in for a cup of tea kind of thing is us asserting that, of symbolically a gesture that affirms, I'm not bothered, right? I'm not bothered. That reminds me of a good British sketch comedy show with Catherine Tate. I can't remember the name of it. But I love that woman. Very funny. So the Four of Swords. This is what we want. We want the kind of balanced, calm, the peace of mind, the steadiness, right? In the I Jing, this is, I can't remember which hexagram it is, but there is, I think it's thunder over thunder. There is a scooping of the ritual wine, right? You got a ladle full of the ritual wine. Maybe it's a ladle full of soup. And all of the lightning strikes. There's earthquakes. The earth is shaking. It's just explosion, rumbling, right? Craziness going on all around you. But your hand is so steady with that soup. You don't spill a drop, right? It's that steadiness. It's that even. Heart rate stays just the same. Doesn't speed up, doesn't slow down, doesn't stop. It's the ability to withstand that kind of stimuli, that kind of shock, I think that's kind of what we're aiming for. And I think the situation now as it stands, I know we kind of got a little bit out to left field here with what's going on, but I feel like this is the perfect opportunity for you to start working on this and to understand that part of your evolution, part of your progress is to see how in these situations we're still compelled to react in a certain way. It could be your first impulse to just jump on that person, right? Full emperor, merciless. And we're not going to know how we react unless we get those kinds of stimuli again. It's easy to remain balanced and peaceful and calm when there's nothing going on. But as soon as we get this stimulus, then we can see how we are kind of, what our impulse is, what our first kind of instinct is. Maybe we can catch ourselves and we can go kind of in an opposite direction, just as a balance, right? As a corrective measure. Now let's go to the path of the serpent here. We've got some more energy, and the 2 here, this is the Zen for me, right? With this 2 here, this is the Zen-like mental state that is still going to take care of business, is still going to do what needs to be done. See, the 4 is kind of just about rest. This is about no movement at all. It's just steadiness, right? But then we also need to have the wisdom. Now, the number 2 is all about wisdom. This is the wisdom that comes from a higher plane about what kind of results we need, right? So we're still taking action, but we're doing so from this very almost detached Zen-like state. We're taking care of business. We're not bothered by it. Positive or negative, even if I have to be merciless and ruthless, I'm steady, right? That's kind of, I think that feels like your energy. That feels like what we're working on. Is to not fly off the handle at things. Let's learn how to handle these kinds of shocks, the lightning, the rumbles, the disasters and earthquakes and explosions, all of the stimuli, without letting it penetrate us and move us and compel us to act a certain way. We still have to act the correct way. We still have to have wisdom, right? If there's an emergency, if there's a fire, you don't want to be just sitting there Zen-like, not doing anything. You don't want to invite the fire in for tea. You still have to act quickly, decisively, get out of there, get your loved ones out, right? And that kind of wisdom, that it's almost an instinct or an intuition that we act based on that higher wisdom, right? Not on this compulsive need to act a certain way because of our experiences, memories, right? So there's a difference there. I don't want you to think that you just gotta, invite the fire in or anything. That's not what we mean. Now the next card is rather interesting. This is the Hanged Man. It's in the position of your environment. And I think that this is kind of this is spirit or the universe or God, goddess, deity, dipping you into these situations. It's almost as if we are volunteering to put ourselves in an uncomfortable position because we're trying to test ourselves. We're trying to learn how we react, how to perfect our responses, how to act, in the words of Don Juan in Castaneda book, how to act impeccably, right? So it could be that we are entering into situations where, yes, we're going to be confronted with that annoying family member or that coworker that we don't get along with, or that other motorist that cuts us off or something. Like we're ready for these experiences now to refine how we react to situations in the moment, on the fly. No pun intended. So I think that this was really meant for you. I think Spirit wants you to put yourself into positions like this instead of avoiding these. If we avoid these situations, we'll never know how we react. It's easy to be steady and even when nothing's going on. Put yourself in this position. Let's see how we react. Yeah. And then, of course, the next card is, I put the Hanged Man upside down. And that, I think, is significant because I was thinking of the kind of triumph that we feel when we do act impeccably, right? When we put ourselves in these situations and we can see that we're growing and we're refining ourselves and we're not we're not reacting to things, we're responding to things. I think you're going to feel a real triumph over that. I think it's going to be a real big win for you. You're going to feel the joy in this kind of progress. Yeah. And now we have these two other cards, two court cards. I think at the end we have the Queen of Pentacles. I think this is you at the end of the day. You're a success. Your life, your personality, your spirit, it's a really, really big win. I think big things are happening for you. And all of this work underneath, all of this is preparing you to be this Queen of Pentacles. Now, it's not gender specific, okay? Not gender specific. Being this real success story, being this shining example of just beauty and success, right? I can't even put it into words. I feel like you've been preparing yourself. Spirit has been preparing you for this tremendously significant life that you're leading. You're really, really doing great things. I think you're preparing yourself for really, really big things, right? Really, really. I don't know if maybe you're going to be the next CEO at YouTube, or you're in some very large, very significant role in your life, and whatever scale. Could be locally in your community, could be on a cosmic scale. You're meant for great things. And this is how I think the universe or spirit or your soul is preparing you for these great things. Because this is a person who has the insight to look back at the past and appreciate all of the difficulties. This is like you looking back at all the past readings on this channel and thinking all of those, they were all very necessary to get you where you are. Now, this figure could, at the same time, be looking at the road to the future. The long and winding road that you still have before you. The great things that you're just about to set off and do. This is kind of the turning point. This is the moment. Right now, this is that infinite moment between the past and the future. Right? This card is looking at both at the same time, the figure here. But who is this Cancer sign person? Cancer's always in your reading. I don't even know what to say about it. It's in the position of what you don't want. So I'm assuming that it may be, I don't know, maybe somebody that just kind of follows you around, or, I don't know. I don't know who that is. I kind of feel like this is a representation generally of people who just kind of want to, to put it in a really kind of silly and simple way, just give you gifts, right? People that are so in awe of your majesty that they just are here with tribute, I kind of feel like that's what it is. I feel like you don't want that. You don't want to be recognized for your accomplishments, You don't want gifts. You just want people to, to do their work, to evolve their own souls, whatever. You don't want to be like showered with gifts. Maybe you do. Maybe we're trying to be noble and majestic and refined and say, no, thank you. That's not what I want. Maybe we need a little bit of that. Maybe we need to be loved and appreciated by those around us. So I think that might be what the Cancer energy is about. This Knight of Cups. It seems there's a tribute, there's an offering to you. You may not want to accept it, but I think even as just a symbolic gesture, you should. I don't know if it's a specific person or just in general, people offering you tokens of their appreciation, right? Well, let's look now at the mystery card. Thank you, Horse, for your assistance here. I don't know what this could be. I think it should be maybe some earth energy. We could be looking at what's beyond the Queen of Pentacles, perhaps. Maybe some very balanced fire energy. Maybe like a Four of Wands or something. Let's see. Well, it's a Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is somebody just starting out It's this is I kind of feel like this is really going back to this Emperor stuff, because we have this connection with all this fire energy here. And this, I think, is probably the confirmation that, look, we have the way we usually handle, the way we usually react to things with our Emperor, but maybe the page is saying, look, yeah, we need to try different things. Let's refine our reactions, not into, knee-jerk impulsive reactions, but into responses. So maybe the Page of Wands is saying, let's experiment with some different tactics. Let's get out there and do something unexpected. Let's do something spontaneous that maybe is a little bit out of the ordinary for us, out of the routine, right? Shake things up a little bit. Let's see how we respond to all the lightning and the thunder, and see if we spill the soup. So I think this card fits really nicely over here. I think that this is the core of the work right now. And I think when we get over here to the path of the Serpent, I think you're really going to love this. I think especially with this Queen of Pentacles at the end, that really is a special ending, I think, But we are going to do an extended Capricorn. If you would like to check it out, just click on the link up there. That will give you access to all of the extended readings, not just Capricorn, but for every sign. I want to thank you for being here. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. We're almost at our 100,000 subscribers. I never thought the day would come. I'm very thankful. Thank you for being here. And thank you for being the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot.